leave it. We're going to do a review, and then we're going to make it a little harder. So remember, we want our dogs to, and we can put our dogs away, sorry. Let them settle, let them relax. When we use the leave it cue, we want our dogs to understand that they're supposed to look away from the distraction. Right now it's treats in hand, and give you eye contact. It's going to be a cued behavior for you to get attention from your dog. This is when the distractions or the triggers are far away though. We don't want to use this when the trigger's right there, because the odds are your dog's not going to be able to offer a behavior because it's going to be overwhelmed emotionally. And that's where it's better to just use your counter conditioning using the yes cue, giving treats. Okay? So we started with treats in our hand and a closed fist. Then we started trying to get our hand lower and lower and lower only if our dogs met the criteria of turning their eyes away from the hand and giving us eye contact. Okay? Now, you want to try to eventually get your hand down to the floor, okay, with a closed fist. Then what you could do is you could bring your hand back up to a shoulder height, and then you open your hand so they can now see the treat. And then you're trying to incrementally over time get your hand lower and lower as long as they meet the criteria of look away, give you eye contact, click treat, okay? But then, after you do that, you want to try to get that hand as close to the floor as possible, and then you actually place the treat on the floor, but I would hover my hand just over the treat. So then if my dog tries to get it, I can just collapse my hand on top of it and they don't get to eat the treat, okay? And then in time, your criteria change would be, you would little by little, your hand would be higher and higher each time you work on it. So then your hand is no longer a part of the leave it drill. The treat is actually on the floor now, right?
And she gets the treat. If she is successful, she gets a yes, and she can eat the treat that she left.
Not off the floor. You would have to pick the treat up and hand it to her. If you want to make it extra clear, and this is what we talked about with you guys, I would never give that treat, say yes, grab a treat out of my bait pouch and treat my dog. And then when we're done with the exercise, I would pick those treats up off the floor and I would put them in my bait pouch. And I could use them later. I could give it to them later. But then that way it's extra clear. Once it's out of my hands, once it's not a part of me anymore, you never get that. When I say leave it, it's like the dog across the street. You never get it, right? So if you want to... Yeah, because we have to reinforce them somehow, right? So yeah, when it's in our person, we give them that treat. Cool. But then another exercise you could do other than trying to get it to the floor is you could place treats onto the chair next to you, tell them leave it, see if they can give you eye contact. But again, be ready to cover up those treats if they try to just eat the treats off the chair or something, right? Which dogs do. They will try. And then once you've generalized this real far, then you can start to use it for the birds, the rabbits, the people, dogs, all that stuff. McDonald's bags on the floor, right? All that stuff. So you get to pick your starting point where you think your dog's going to be successful. And then we're going to try to progress it. Everybody's going to be working on it. Ask questions if you want, or I could give you some pointers on how I think you can make it a little more hard. And then we'll see how your pups are doing, okay? So quick review of our leave it cue. Let's see where you guys are at. Reorientation